Greetings, dear, beautiful, precious, wonderful being that you are, full of wonder. Yep. My topic, letting go of expectations. You see, the greater the expectation, the deeper the fall into despair. Expectations are not expectancy. Expectancy is different, you see. You want to know what you're talking about. You do a little bit of study on it. And when you're in expectancy, you're in a sense a state of wonderment, in a sense of always knowing that it all works out in every moment of now when you're tuned to the divine. And you have that joy of being that wherever you are, you're always having a good time. You see. And I use the word time. We limit ourselves with words, but we're using words to help us get beyond the words to the state of the knowing that cannot be measured. It's who we are. But expectations are all about, when this project's done, I will have made it. I will be great. Everyone will see how fabulous I am, and I'm finally a success. You see, because again, expectations a lot to do with these destructive words called success and failure. And then that means that in your mind, you want others in their mind to fulfill your expectations. I want to tell you a little secret here. It's a good thing to know. When you tell others about what you expect, when you count your chickens before they hatch out of the egg, when you count what you've got before you got it, what you're doing, and telling everybody, because you take a look at, are you one of those that are always telling people, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and I'll do this for you, but you really don't. That person never does, really. But they're talking on it because you can see what their motivation is. I want you to think of me well. I want you to respect me. I want you to believe that I am worthwhile because I have money, or because I'm a success, or because I've overcome this, or all this. Just look, this is all story. And then with the expectations of, say, a relationship, or I thought they would know better, or I thought that they knew me, or I thought that they'd understand, or I would expect them to be this way, and I'm expecting this to be this way. And what you do is you set yourself up for disappointment. And because you're riding a roller coaster, and you're allowing yourself to be jerked around by what goes on in the outer world that is basically all of our manifestation. And if you're manifesting through inner knowing and wisdom, you're in harmony with all. But when you're manifesting through you're not manifesting, you're actually building and producing, or even like an artist, creating situations and relationships and everything that are so full of expectation that you're always I'm so disappointed in them. I had no idea what they were really like. And it's like always it's other people rained on your parade. Other people didn't fit, and then what happens is people let the disappointment take them down. Well, I guess I'm no good. I remember years ago when I got my first bad press, because I was now out into the world in that sense, and as a public speaker, holding big services for people. And this terrible article, terrible, I thought it was at the time, but criticizing me and finding fault in me, I was so hurt. Oh my gosh, I was so depressed. I'm crying and feeling sorry for myself. I went into bed, pulled the covers over my head. I'm never getting out of here. This is it. I'm over. I'm not helping anybody anymore. I'm not teaching anything. Forget it. And then I go, well, after a while, a few days, you go, well, what else am I going to do? This is who I am. This is what I do. This is my talent, ability, how I could serve. And you have to learn to teach yourself to, yes, be fully enthused about what you're doing and what you're offering. And at the same time, don't let the response of others, you see, or situations determine your state of being and what you do now and eternally. So these expectations are, they're not your friend. And with expectancy, we're always in that state of wonder and the divine and the glorious and the beauty and the fun and the joy of being. It isn't about you're going to the party, but it was a disappointment because nobody was doing anything. There was no entertainment, so you don't have a good time. Wouldn't you want to be living it up in every single moment of now? And when you are, you're out there, but you're not knocked down by what you call failure. You don't, success. You don't get arrogant. You know where the source is. You're humble in that state of honoring the divine and being grateful and appreciative. And you get yourself up, dust yourself off, and start all over again. And if you really want it to happen, you're going to have to do something about making it happen. And you have in relationships, all enamored with each other, you get together and all of a sudden they're not fulfilling your expectations. They're not being the way you want them to be. They're not, none of this, they're not like you thought they were, because people fantasize on that and then believe that this next job, this next project, this next success, this situation, relationship, and all of that is just going to be now forever. It'll be just glorious because they're going to do this. And as soon as they don't do that anyway, you plunge yourself into sorrow. Well, I have to do it myself, I guess. Nobody's there. Nobody's helping. Well, who are you helping? What are you doing? How are you living? What kind of person are you, you see? So we get back to this, is give up expectations. And yet full of expectancy, and go forth and do your work and put it out there. And yeah, some people are going to knock it. Other people are going to, and I'll tell you what, a lot of people that knock stuff, they're misery creators. They don't want the good and the beautiful and the kind and the loving. No, they want the monsters and the demons and the war and the violence and the murder and the guns and the happy. I'm not saying you're not to protect yourself and do that. So I'm not saying that. It isn't guns that hurt people or knives that hurt people. They're just laying there. It's what people do with them. It isn't pills that are killing people. It's people are throwing them in their mouth and eating them. And it isn't the bad food that's hurting people. It's your hand going to your mouth and sticking that stuff into your mouth and wondering how come you're sick, you see. So it's if we're going to get real, we got to get ourselves back out of fantasy land, in the sense. And yeah, hey, if you need to take the trash out, take the trash out. Well, I thought they'd take the trash out. Now you got a whole house full of trash because we're waiting for somebody to take the trash out. Well, start right now. Start taking it out, one bag at a time, if that's what you want. And I'll tell you, when you start to when we take ownership of ourselves and what we do and how we live, and also start to realize that what is being reflected in our lives has to come somehow through our own consciousness, our own thoughts, our own beliefs, our own acceptance, and that sort of thing, then instead of living a life of a victim, or what coulda, shoulda, or woulda but didn't, and self-defeat, you don't let anyone defeat you and knock you off. Absolutely not. If you love what you're doing and what you're offering and who you are and how, the quality of your being and how you choose to live, that's for you to have. And others out there got a lot of people out there that are having a really difficult time. A lot of people out there have no idea who they are. You don't know do you know what they're programmed for this and that? They're on medications, they've got this situation, that situation. They got all this stuff going on. Why would you let them knock you off? Maybe they're paid money to be against you. You don't know. So honor your goals and your objectives, honor your path, honor your mission, honor the quality of your own existence. Have a life be full of expectancy of your good, because when you're in tune with the divine, you get to witness and experience the joy of being in every single moment. And when the expectations are unfulfilled, quickly get off of it. Take a look at what you were expecting and how you set yourself up for this. And if you really want it, go do it yourself or find someone who does want to do it, you see, or to go in that direction. But to give up the sorrow of thinking of all the unfulfilled expectations, all the disappointments, all the people who stopped you and this didn't happen, so I guess it never will. If you really desire it and you have a burning desire within your heart, because it's not even burning, I don't like to say that, but that knowing this is who you are and this is what you do it. Whether anyone likes it or not, whether the audience really likes your song. Because if you're singing for God, you hope they like your song. But you know what? If they don't, too little. It's like, okay, it's gone. But you are in tune with you. And you have transcended the duality and the huge ups and downs and jerking us around and the big drama all the time going on. And you place all your hope, all your power in this expectation, finally making it. But because it's so important to you, you do set up the other side that brings in blockages and stoppages, because that's how this operates. Keep silent. Don't tell others what you're doing until you're doing it. Don't get all into, I'm going to tell everybody all that I'm doing and how all this, because all these expectations, and then people don't do it. Use that energy. Build it within yourself, you see. You can accomplish whatever you set out to accomplish. Any stops are beliefs where you have believed that you do not have the power, when the greatest power that ever is or could be is with you, as you, flowing through you and expressing. So you already have it all, you see. We don't need no stinking expectations, because we're already in expectancy. And we are, what would you say, fulfilled and satisfied in every moment of now.